Hi and welcome to this tutorial for redheadx.com. My name is Edwin Jordan and I'll be leading you on this tutorial on how to create this black chair we have in front of us here. So let's go ahead and get started with this guy. First thing I like to do is analyze this chair, decide what kind of dimensions I want, what kind of shapes I want to use. So first thing off the bat I notice is that I'm going to be using some chamfered boxes here. We have some piping that goes around our chair as well, so we're going to be using a new tool called shape or get shape, excuse me. So we're going to be getting a shape off of the segments of this chamfered box. We're also going to be using the line tool or splines to create the bars for this chair as well. I'm going to go ahead and start thinking about the dimensions of this. So I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to want a height for this chair right here, or at least the arm, to be about 3 feet, and the width maybe around a foot or so. And then we're going to go ahead and add some segments to that so we can start getting some more details in it, such as the lumps, and just making it so it's not so flat and even. We just want to make it nice and puffy with a little bit of detail inside of it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and maybe place this guy right down here for now. And let's go ahead and let's just jump right into the perspective view. I'm going to go ahead and hit Alt W, and I'm going to go ahead and grab a chamfered box from my extended primitives. And I'm not going to worry about dimensions right now. I'm just going to go ahead and draw out this chamfered box. So my width and length, go ahead for the height. Click once to create the chamfer. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit F4 so we can see the wires. I'm going to go ahead and leave my fillet segments, as you see over here on the right hand side, at 3. I'm going to go ahead and it looks like we have a gigantic chair right now at 34 feet. So let's go ahead and do a, let's see, let me just get my bearings here. So lengths, I'm going to say 3 feet, and my width is going to be as well, let's say 4 feet. And the height is going to be about 3 feet as well. Oops. And let's go ahead and zoom into that. And it looks like our fillet is 2 feet right now, so let's go ahead and reduce that guy to be a little bit less. And let's just go ahead and adjust some of these settings. My width, I want it to be about 1 foot. And let's go ahead and reduce that fillet one more time. Now we have something better that we can work with. So we have a length about at 2.5. Let's go ahead and see what 3 feet looks like. That'll do for now, because we also have the back there, so we don't want it to be too square. So I think those dimensions look good. Let's go ahead and add some segments. So I'm going to go ahead and just say 6 for the length and 6 for the width. Let's go ahead and do 6 for the height as well. Alright, so we have the side arm of this chair. Let's go ahead and right click this guy, and let's go ahead and convert it to a editable poly. Alright, let's go ahead and add a FFD modifier to this chair so we can start pulling and pushing, just to make it so it's not so perfect. Let's go ahead and make it just a little deformed. So I'm going to go to my modify list and go ahead and add a FFD 4x4 by 4 so we get our cage, and let's go ahead and open up the FFD modifier and grab our control points. So now I can go ahead and maybe grab some control points over here, holding down control, and grab some down here. Using my move tool, pull these guys down a little bit. And let's go ahead to the side view, left view, zoom in. There we go. And let's go ahead and take that front part here and let's pull it back a little bit, just a tiny bit, and the back, let's bring that up. And let's see what else we could do. At the bottom here, we can bring that back slightly, and over here as well. Alright, let's go to the top view, zoom into that, hitting Z. And in the top view, let's go ahead and grab these two front side control points, and let's bring those guys back. And let's go ahead to the back of the chair. Let's grab these as control points, holding down control, and grab these control points, and let's bring them forward. So now you can see that it's not completely boxy, but now we have just a little bit of not such a perfect chair arm. I'm going to go ahead and maybe grab one control point here. Let's grab this guy here as well. Let's go ahead and take these guys and pull them out just slightly. Not too much, but just enough to give it some more volume. We can also do the same thing for this side as well. Maybe grab this guy here. 2, 3, and 4. Pull that out a little bit. So if I go to wireframe, just so you can see what's going on here, so now you can see that we get a little bit more volume inside of there as well. We can also maybe make this a little bit more lopsided. Let's go back to the front view and zoom in. And maybe this side is just a little bit lower than the other side, or even higher. Depends whatever you want it to be. Okay. Alright, that guy's all set. Let's go ahead and add some piping to this guy as well. Actually, before we add piping, let's go ahead and add a little bit more detail. We did add some more volume, but let's go ahead and add some abnormities to this guy. Let's push and pull some of these segments so we can get maybe some dents and stuff like that in there. So I'm going to go into my, let's bring this guy down, edit poly here. Let's just go ahead and add an edit poly on top of the FFD modifier. That's perfectly fine as well. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm back and forth between this. I'm going to go ahead and take this edit poly and bring it below the FFD modifier. I want the FFD modifier to actually modify what I'm about to do to this. That's why I have that on. So let's go ahead and maybe grab the polygon tool, and you'll see that we don't see the FFD effects anymore, unless actually we do. Yeah, until we actually go back up here, and then we can see the FFD modifier. Oops. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead to polygon, and let's go ahead and grab some pieces here, and let's go ahead and start pulling and pushing. And I just want to double check to make sure that FFD modifier is going to actually affect this guy. I'm sure it will, so let's just go ahead and start pulling and pushing some polygons here. And let's pull this guy out a little bit, maybe push this one in as well. And maybe this guy down here. We have some polygons up here we can grab. Grab 4 of them. We can maybe push those guys down slightly. Maybe grab one and pull them up, just so we have some bumps and grooves. There we go. Alright, that might have been too much. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off my polygon, and let's go ahead and add the FFD modifier to it. Alright, so the FFD modifier is affected. Alright, so it's not looking so perfect anymore, which is good. So let's go ahead and start creating the piping to this chair as well. So I'm going to go ahead and place that guy back down here. And let's go ahead and add a edit poly on top of our FFD modifier. So let's go ahead and do modify list, and then we can say edit poly. And let's go ahead and open up the edit poly, and let's go to edge. So we're going to go inside of here, we're going to go grab the edges that we want. So let's go ahead and grab maybe this edge here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the loop tool so we don't have to select all the looped edges. So I'm just going to select one side, and let's come to the front side as well, and let's go ahead and select that point. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and select this side as well. And actually, you see that I accidentally selected that side, and that's because I don't have ignore backfacing on, so I'm accidentally selecting the other side. So let's go ahead and turn on ignore backfacing so we don't accidentally select things that we don't want. So let's go ahead and select this guy over here. Let's take a trip to the back, and we're going to go ahead and select this back here. I'm going to go ahead and hit loop, and now we got those guys. We can also go ahead and let's grab these front ones as well. And let's go to the back. Let's double check. Okay. We'll grab this guy here, and say this one right here. We also need the bottom as well, so let's go ahead and select, which one do I want? I'll just say this one. And let's go over here to the front, to the side, and let's see to make sure we got everybody. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit loop one more time again. Alright, so now we have all the guys that we want to create for our piping of this chair. The problem is that we have some selected items that we don't need, so we can go ahead and deselect those, holding down Alt and just selecting it. And I'm going to come over here to the back, select that guy, select, oops, I selected too much. And let's go to the bottom. Oops, I think I selected too much. Let's click on that guy, there we go. And deselect this, deselect that. Alright, I think we have everything we need here. So now we can just go ahead and go, excuse me, we can bring this down to edit edges and find create shape. So I can go ahead and click on create shape, or I can click on the little settings button next to that, which I'm going to do. So go ahead and click on the settings button, and we're just going to go ahead and say linear, and let's go ahead and call this piping, and hit OK. So now that we have our piping, we can go ahead and let's go ahead and deselect out of the chair. We can go ahead and hit H to do select by name, and we can go ahead and select the piping. Looks like I didn't spell that right, but that's alright. So now we have the piping selected, so we can just go ahead into rendering, turn on enable render, enable viewport, and it looks like our piping is a little too thick, so let's go ahead and inside the parameters for the radial, let's go ahead and decrease that thickness significantly smaller until we get something like that. And we can go ahead and adjust that. Now I didn't adjust my units first, so right now I'm seeing 0, 0, but if I just go ahead and move it, it's still going to be a number that I can't see, but it's not 0, 0. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that, so I can go ahead and select the both of these guys, and let's go ahead and say group and call this chair arm. And the next part, we will go ahead and duplicate this guy to create the rest of the chair. We'll just flip this around so it's not so symmetrical.